I got you, people. So I witnessed an incident of a pedestrian and a delivery truck. The thing is that I didn't really see the truck, even though I was sitting in my driver's side forward, in the direction of traffic. All I seen that the truck was there, and out of nowhere, somebody fell into the street. And then in a while, like 3 people came out the truck and was trying to block the traffic for coming towards the pedestrian that was on the floor, and he put an X sign. So I was just watching and things like that, and then I got off my truck and went forward to them and was asking questions what happened. And it was 3 guys. One of the guys said that, oh, he just came too quick without noticing or looking, and my driver opened the door and he slammed into the door and he flew off the bike into the street. But I was thinking that the truck had hit him head on, but that wasn't the case. Then it was the other guy said that no, it was his fault, the biker's fault, because he went too quick and he blew the light. So I understand, why he say it was his fault, he blew the light. He was already putting guilt, the blame, on the individual that got hit and fell onto the street. Mind you that this guy was already bleeding and he was, in pain because he was a little bit unconscious, disoriented, and he was bleeding a lot. His hand was like a softball and it was bleeding. So I was just thinking, why is he already putting blame on somebody instead of just calling it an accident? And he was already putting blame on the biker. And mind you that it's bike lanes here in New York, so this truck is like a 24-foot truck, and it was pretty wide. So he wasn't even parked fully in the curve of the parking spot and leaving the bike lane, empty from obstruction. So he was parked halfway in the bike lane. So the person, if he was gonna use that bike lane, he gotta fall into the street because he was parking his truck right in the middle of the bike lane. But anyway, I didn't see that much, but I was just getting upset because one of the guys that was there was already blaming the biker instead of just calling it an accident and helping the guy that's on the floor bleeding, showing some sympathy, and compassion that he's hurt, and get him some help first, and then you decide who you're gonna blame it on. The thing is that it was an accident and that was it, but he was already blaming the biker. And then I got so upset. I said, listen, you parked this truck on the bike lane. You're supposed to have them park on your space where cars are permitted to park. But the truck was so wide and long that the guy didn't even finish, I think, parking. So he would just park halfway into the bike lane. Even if the biker wanted to use the bike lane, he couldn't. So he had to go into incoming traffic. So he got hit regardless. It would have been more dangerous for him. But anyway, the thing is that the truck had opened the door and the biker slammed into the, and these are e-bikes. These e-bikes, as soon as you hit that gear, that thing is gonna pick up speed. It's not like a regular pedal bike. So these e-bikes go pretty quick. But anyway, he slammed to the door and he fell on the floor bleeding. And this guy got me so upset because two of them were Spanish, who were speaking Spanish people. I think one of them was Dominican, the other was Honduras or Mexican, and the other one was a white dude, man. It's messed up. And he was the one that was talking the most. Everybody was quiet, trying to figure out what to do, and he was already blaming the biker. You know what? It's because the biker was the messenger. You can tell that he wasn't actually from the country. But he was working too. They were doing deliveries, and he had a delivery to make on his bike. He was doing DoorDash, and it was early in the morning. So this accident happened, and he fell on the floor, and all this guy was saying, man, I hate to say it, but this white dude was always saying that it's his fault that he blew the light. I said, yo, show some compassion. The guy's on the floor. You shouldn't stop blaming. It was an accident. That's all you got to say. Stop trying to blame it on someone only. It was an accident, and that's it. You got to just take care of the person. Then you decide who you're going to blame. But he just kept on saying that, and he got me so upset that I took my phone. I said, listen, I know what you're trying to do. Just because he's, he's Spanish, or that he's not from here, because, he looks like he's, like they said, they're immigrants, right? So he didn't show no compassion and trying to blame it on him. And I was getting so mad, I was putting my phone in his face. Listen, I bet you, if he was in a white neighborhood, right, you won't be saying it. You probably call the cops and arresters and things like that, right? You happen to handcuff. But being that he's Spanish, and you know he don't belong here, you want to start blaming it on him. So I was so upset, and he told me to take my phone off his face. And I was so really upset that I just wanted to do something to him, but I had to compose myself because then the situation's gonna fall on me. But that guy had me so. I said, I bet you, if this was one of your family members and I hit him, you won't be saying that it was his fault. You be blaming it on me for having him injured, having him laying down in the street, bleeding to death or whatever. Now, right? You won't be saying that it's his fault, right? You will blame it on me, the driver, and try to get me arrested, because that's what happened, right? It happened in a predominated color community. So man, this young white dude, he was old enough, but I don't know, he was just trying to blame it on the guy that got hit, and he was bleeding. He was semi-conscious because he wasn't really moving and things like that, and he was all just blaming on the biker instead of taking responsibility. He was probably not even the driver and things like that, because he wasn't, because the one that was the driver was another Spanish guy, and he was trying to assist him and all that. But that guy was just running his mouth, man, and it got me so upset. So I said, man, I just got mad at him and walked away. And the other guy was telling me, yo, calm down, because he was the only one talking a lot of BS, instead of trying to help the guy, show some compassion. He was already blaming it on the biker, which actually the truck was parked on the biker's lane. You got to show some compassion to both of you. It's an accident. Nobody's blaming you for doing something intentionally, right? It's an accident and you try to solve it. But this white dude didn't show no compassion. He got me so upset that I wanted to, I was putting my rage on him because of that. Because he kept on talking and he just got me so upset. But I had to control myself, and I just walked away, and I let the cops handle it and things like that. And the other cop was trying to calm me down too, and tell me, don't worry, I got this and things like that. And they was taking pictures, the truck, because he was on the bike lane. I said, you notice you're on the bike lane, all right? You should take that to consideration, and just call it was an accident that we're gonna take care of him. But this dude, man, I even remember his name, that they say it was Albert, right? This Albert dude had no compassion, man. And I just wanted to I don't know, take my anger at him for him saying that. Because you have to show compassion. You hit somebody, help them out, and then you want to take it to insurance or whatever and put blame on whatever, but don't blame on the person that you hit, that he's already bleeding, unconscious, and he cannot defend himself. You already want to blame it on somebody else. Accident's an accident. It was not intentional, so you should have nothing to worry about to blame it on somebody else. Because I would feel bad if I hit somebody. Lucky for me, I haven't hit anybody in years since I've been driving, and I don't want to, and I myself, I don't want to get hit by a car, because cars don't cry, they don't bleed. The person that bleeds is a human being. They're gonna feel the impact of the force of these moving vehicles. So I felt sorry for the migrant guy that was doing this delivery, DoorDash, food delivery. And the guy didn't just show compassion, man. The other two was quiet. The driver, and I bet you's gonna fall in the driver, and he's gonna get points out of that because he was the driver. And it's things that happen, And I don't blame the driver. He was cool. He was trying to help the person on the floor and things. And the other guy was quiet too. But this white dude, Albert, man, we just got on my nerves, man. But I just had to leave and sit in my truck and keep on watching. At that time, my phone wasn't working, so I wasn't recording, because my phone, was old and it wasn't charging as good. So I was just there, just watching them. But anyway, people, if you hit somebody, man, show some compassion, no matter whose fault it is. The person that you hit, need some medical assistance, and you should be compassionate, show some sympathy, that anybody could get hit and it can be an accident, and that could be a family member, and you want everybody to assist and help anybody when it comes to an accident. And with that, people, I'll let you go and you think about that. Show compassion.